Mike.
Julie, for more on this, let's bring in Doug Truax, founder and CEO of Restoration of America and a former U.S. Army captain. Doug, happy Independence Day. Welcome.
Hey, Mike, great to see you. Happy Independence Day to you, too.
So President Trump sounds pretty down about the possibility that Vladimir Putin wants peace. Your assessment of that?
Well, I think the primary factor that has to go into getting to peace is that the president has that attitude. And I'm grateful for it. Look at what he's been through the last 6 months, the last 2 weeks, all the successes. We're all very happy for where our country is. But you can see this weighs on him very heavily. And he talks a lot about the lost lives, the soldiers dying. He just goes on and on. He's making the calls. He's having the conversations. It's frustrating, and no matter how ugly it looks at times, we just have to be grateful that he's in the place he's in where he says, it's in our national interest to try to end this as quickly as we can. It's in our national interest that we don't get involved. Mm-hmm. And so, like in all things in combat, in war, it's a changing environment daily. And it was a difficult night last night, but it's changing all the time for both sides. And you have to have somebody willing to be somewhat in the middle of this to try to broker the peace as it moves along. And I'm grateful he's there in that spot.
To your point about last night, Russia pounding Ukraine, 539 drones, 11 missiles focusing on Kyiv. We know President Trump spoke with President Zelensky this morning. We are waiting a readout from the White House. But what about the Ukrainian side of the equation?
Yeah, well, that's really painful. I think that no matter what happens in terms of where we are today, we have to ask ourselves, how do we get here? I don't think it was a good idea ever for the Obama administration, the Biden administration, to put Ukraine out there as a possible member of NATO. That wasn't a good start. Biden practically invited the Russians to invade. So, all these things, all these problems that a president inherits, they have a long tail on them, and he's trying to unwind it. And so I would say to the Ukrainians, just like President Trump is, we got to find a way out of this. And also, our national interest is making sure we have a strong military, obviously, strategic reserves on our ammunition. And we have been giving them a lot. And it's a dangerous world. And we've got to find a way out of this. They have to find a way out of this. It's not on us day to day. It's on them. But like I said, things change on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. And a lot of this comes down to their will to keep fighting. And will they, Putin seems pretty willful right now. The Ukrainians do too, but things change over time. It's not our fight, but it's our part in the world to try to help them find a way out of this.
Then there's the conflict in the Middle East. President Trump says we should know pretty shortly whether Hamas is serious about a ceasefire deal. He's called it a final proposal for a ceasefire. Are you hopeful, Doug?
Yes, very hopeful. Again, this is about negotiations. You think about the Abraham Accords and everything President Trump did previously. And then now, obviously, what we just did in Iran. We should all be very grateful for our military and the strength there. And as you go forward and you have the ability to show the world that, number one, we have a very strong economy. And I think it's about to really take off. That's totally true. We're doing much better. And a very strong military. We have some issues there, but we're getting there. I think that helps in the Middle East, where people are saying, you know what, we need to listen. We need to listen carefully. We need to come along. Nobody wants the situation. I mean, Hamas has been propped up by the Iranians. It's all connected. I think now is the time to keep pushing and use every bit of leverage we have. And again, be thankful that we have a strong economy, a strong military, and a president that's willing to push for this.
Doug Truax, thanks for your service. Enjoy your Independence Day.
Same to you, Mike. Thank you.
Julie.